everybody. How y'all doing? Once again, this is Antonio Thomas. As you see, Freedman Street. So this is the block where you come, sit down, have something to eat, drink, do whatever you want to do, as long as you do it respectfully while you're on Freedman Street. Our street that is for us, by us, dictated by us, and projected the thoughts, sentiments, ideas, spirituality, and culture that is created by us. That's why it's called Freedman Street. There is no diss to any other culture. There's no disrespect. There's nothing that you can take out of context. This is like our home, our house, and our place. So that means there's our rules. So when we go to different places, we will respect their rules because it's their place, it's their area, it's their sanctum, as you want to say. So be courteous, be respectful, and have the same thoughts and sentiments for our space that you will have for your own. Now, I like to talk quickly about one thing first. First thing, I'm reading the bloody shirt, you know what I'm saying, with BTP. You reading this about, oh, it's not coming up. You can see it, the bloody shirt. So I'm almost through it. You know, I would have been through it, but sometimes I read some of it and I get so pissed off at the information that I find. It's not like we don't know it. You would think by just the simple statistics now of how we do in education, how we most Black boys or Black men move away from education because we don't feel that it's really nurturing us in that way. And you have a lot of us not receiving a high school diplomas like we should. It doesn't mean that we don't receive our high school diploma at a comparable rate. It's just that we should be doing more. We should be helping out and leading the knowledge that we learn more. I'll put it that way. You know, you got to be careful sometimes what you say because you don't want to take your words out of context. But what I have to say is when we integrated and we gave up that portion of creating our own curriculum and teaching our children the true history of being freedmen, not African American, not Black, from 1865, we was considered freedmen. And we tried to develop the things that we needed for ourselves to be a part of this country. And we still wasn't allowed to be citizens of this country like other people because they still had racist agenda. And I will show you and tell you how they still had those thoughts and sentiments of racist agendas and had a corrupted and crept into society where it holds us in place on the way our city is and the way our country is and the way the world looks at us. Now let's talk about how the UN had their conference and all the countries was there. But when they start talking about racism and justice for people and all and equality, the U.S. And two other countries got up and left because there's nothing the UN can do to force America to do anything. It's something they see, and America see like, what you gonna do about it? You know, because America is corrupted with a lot of racists, and that's the only way you can look at it. When you have people that understand and know the history that we have in this country, and they belittle the individual who's being murdered, beat, subjugated, treated in a certain way inside their own country and think that is cool. And then other people come here and look at that and be like, you know, you don't know what their mindset is. You don't know if they friend or foe. You know, just because a person have my complexion don't mean they down for me when they come over here. This is how I got in this country in the first place. No white European went over in Africa and just snatched us from up off our land. It was our neighboring tribes who came in there, you know, took our land out of jealousy or wanted more riches, or you know what I'm saying? It was something spiteful, the way it is now in our community. The same way they broke up the gangs or organizations in our community. They gave one gang dope. Then when they got a lot of money, they went to the other gang and said, hey, you know, they're making all this money. You want to make some, you know, they got it. Here, go get it. So now you got the one with the money, and then you got the one with the firepower. Eventually, the one with the firepower is going to come to the ones who got the money and try to get that money and try to get those drugs. And the ones who got the drugs are going to take that drug money and try to pay other individuals to go back at them to get back what they lost. So now you had them beasts over that resource that they put in our community, which was drugs, which they say, oh, that's illegal and all that. So now you got them going at each other because of the drugs. Now you got the white people coming in saying, hey, we got to stop y'all from killing each other. It's genocide. Why is y'all doing this? Why they mixed the pot up and they started this all in the first place, just so they could come in and do what they need to do to take over your streets and lock you up, because the ultimate plan is locking you up in the way of putting you in jail so they will have a avenue to support their people. You know, that's why they the most police officers, in fire departments and just in everything of law enforcement. They outnumber us in all that, even in our own communities. Let me show you something from Chicago standpoint. I went and I did me a little research, you know. I didn't go too deep. So first thing I started off looking, I said, okay, let's see what I can find. Now right here, according to the Census Bureau, Census Bureau of America, 1 year estimate, which conducted annual cities over 65,000 via sampling. The population of Chicago, Illinois was 50.8% white, 33.5% non-Hispanic white, and 17.3% Hispanic whites, 29% Black or African American, 7% Asian, and 0.4% Native American. Now, Native American is specific. They said non-whites, that's not specific, but 50%, well, non-whites and Hispanic whites, they threw together. And that makes that 50.8%. 29%, they didn't disaggregate this, so we don't know what the point of Blackness or African American, whatever you want to call it. Who is who? Is African American stated as the individual that come from Africa and now is Americanized, or Black come from anywhere, you know? So, or just a Black person comprising of everything. I don't know, because they being vague, and they being vague on a certain for a reason. So they had that. And so you look around, you say, hey, okay, that's what you have. Let's go even deeper. What are the percentages of Chicago police? Let's look at that. Now, if we like 30% in Chicago, let's ask this. In City Hall, that it is about 1/3 non-Hispanic white, 1/3 non-Hispanic Black, and 1/3 Hispanic or Latino. And it says more than half of the Chicago Police Department was white, nearly a quarter Hispanic, and a fifth is Black. A fifth? You saying, hold up, let's go back. Out of 30%, we a fifth? That's what you're saying? Not even 20, it's like 20% of the whole thing. And everybody else creates this. The 70% is all these people put in there. This is a coincidence. It's just that. Let's go into this part. The percentage of the Chicago Fire Department. I had to keep going and keep changing my statements to get this. It says the most common ethnic group among firemen is white, which makes up 72% of firemen. And there are 14% Hispanic Latino and 7.8% Black, and we 30% in Chicago. This gotta be an accident, right? This must be an accident. Must be an accident. Okay. What are the percentages of businesses in Chicago? White alone, 50%. Black American, 30%, and then it breaks it down. And that is kind of false, because we got these small mom and pops, these little small tiny businesses. So 30%, because they give us those in our community, so we stay 30%. But that 30% should be on everything, right? We should be 30% inside the police department, 30% inside medical industry, in the hospitals around us. That's the only way we're gonna get the care and get everything we need from people who look like us, who know our struggles, who've been through the things we are. We don't look at us as lazy or incompetent individuals. I did some other researches going down. I'll say, okay, because I wanted to break down how many gas stations that's in our community. But all I got, they tell us, okay, you got some art, some places, auto, clothing, jewelry, restaurants. We got a gang of restaurants. We love to eat. Restaurants, the hardware store. Got one medical practice in Chicago that's Black owned, and pediatrics. And then you got the entertainment. We got our little dance groups and little creative art foundations. Got our culture on, but then it stops. We're not really into a thing. We sold services as in a way of food, entertainment, and that's just about it. And that percentages, it means a lot. You should look at that and really take that to heart. How we locked out of everything, how we don't even control our community. And let me go back to the bloody shirt. I wanna read something for y'all. Some people may just look at it and say, hey, it's not that, but do your research. I came up with these numbers. Yeah, I came up with these numbers. After you just seen, I looked them up, but I made it up. A lot of people would think that, like, oh, where you getting that from and all that. Okay, let's go to this. Now, it was on page 24. This is when Edmund Riot, he enclosed an enclosure, an act prohibiting all freedmen, that's us, or persons of African descent made free by the act of the convention in September last from ever holding or owning real estate in South Carolina or their prosperity after them. Prosperity after them mean their children, descendants going down. So when people talk about reparations, we never harmed nobody. Why should you? Because they projected and they made sure that the harm that they caused of this day will be the harm that will go on to their children. That's why you need repair. And when you break this down, it's not just real estate. If you don't own the real estate, mean property, I mean land. If you don't control the property or the land that you live in and that your family is in, that means other people tell you how you should live in your community. That's why they make these laws that suppress us. And let's go further and see why they make these laws. It says, let the idea of their ever owning land pervade amongst them. And they will never work for the white man or upon any land but their own. The act is essential because it will at once cut off the competition between white and the Black man. The Black man must then forever labor upon the capital of white men, and the white man must take care of him, or else he will soon have no labor. In regard it is the most vital law that can be made for our future prospering. This is the final law that can be made for our future prospering. Did y'all hear that? For our future prospering. And then you think about it. We got millionaires. We got a lot of people that's CEOs, the first black this, the first, they said it all the time. But do they own the company? Look at sports. We love sports. We inside sports. We dominate. We got money all that, but we don't own no company. We don't dictate to nothing that they got going on. So they even make the rules and laws for you in something that you used to have. We used to have our own baseball and football leagues, but they took that over because they know once to start getting popularity, and especially since the draw that we had because our athleticism, they took that over and they let people come up. You'll be a part of, you'll be a commentator, you can come inside some of their businesses and run it as CEOs and all that, but you will never own it. So if you don't own it, you don't control it. So I could suppress you at any point. If you don't do what I say, or you going against these rules that we came up with, because that we is not us. We're not sitting at the table. So you got to understand that this is something that was created way back when we was freed in 1865 as freedmen. But since Johnson, punk ass, he was president, he made sure he put all the Confederates back inside the Union. And so they took over and they made all these laws. Let's see what else they said. We got another one. They made the Vagrancy Act, and this is where they made sure that freemen or African descent, they made laws that we requiring to have a recorded domicile, which shall be unlawful for him to leave without due notice given to some appointed magistrate or without a 12 months notice. So we had to report to somebody to leave? Really? Or a 12 months notice? You had to get somebody 12 months notice of time. Mr. Charlie, I'm finna leave and go visit my family in Chicago. 12 months ahead of time. So they could plot and plan when you leave how they're gonna destroy the hell out your farm or whatever they're gonna do. That is crazy. It says, let the very Negro be taken up and put in hard labor upon the public work chain gangs, such as repairing building roads and paving and cleaning the streets for no less than 60 days. No less than 60 days. They want me to report 12 months before I got to leave somewhere. But if I break any of your laws, you're going to lock me up and I have to work for you, hard labor for 60 days. Ain't that something? But that's only for us. But we citizens. So we don't deserve reparations for all these discriminatory ass laws, these racist ass laws from these people, and destruction that they did to our community. And the reason why we ran from the South, what they call it, the Great Migration, that was a great exodus. Some people couldn't take it no more. You had some people that were snapping back. Before 1865, before that, we had individuals going against the system. We weren't just accepting slavery like no punk ass people, the way people trying to paint us. And that's why sometimes you hear people say, I don't want to talk about this slavery thing, because it's so daunting in the way to think, like, it's about, how they been whipped and all these sex farms or buck breaking tools that they use, and it's just everything. But you don't see the other side, that you keep looking at that stuff, keep looking at it, eventually you're gonna lash out and do what's best for your people. It's like right now, you got children disappearing and women disappearing. And yes, that's our fault as a man, because no matter how much little or small percentage that we are, we still have to do that. I protect my girls with my life. I don't care what I have to do. If somebody snatch them up and I see them snatch it up, I'm giving it my all. If somebody disrespect my mama, I don't care if you the police, you could be the president of the United States. Ain't nobody can be out there whooping on my mama while I'm there talking about, oh, she's resisting, stop resisting. Yeah, I seen that video. Y'all just ain't caught the right person. Y'all shouldn't even be in our community. What type of person know the relationship between freemen and white people in America had this type of relationship, and then you want to come over here and be policemen, firemen, and all that in our community? We should just automatically trust you. History telling us that you shouldn't be trusted like that. We should have a board where people come in. If you want those type of jobs, you got to go through a review board. Every community should have it. But yet, we the only ones that's going to be subjugated and treated a certain way and not treated fairly. Those are jobs. That is money. That is a social structure that is taken out of my community because you're not giving it to us and treating us unfairly. Just because you got to put on that badge doesn't mean it takes off that racism that most of them have. All they do is covers up the racism and make them more beholden to act the way they want to act, because now you covered by the law, which is placed in the Constitution that was took over by some damn traitors. But a lot of people may don't look at it like that. Let's go back to thinking about. Let's think like this in an intelligent manner. Let's be logical. Some people may get mad. I had this conversation with some of my guys that I work with. Some of the street dudes that's around in the blocks. You know, you got people out here doing some work, doing a little marching, doing here and there. You know, but think about this. Just like those points and percentages that I just showed you in the beginning. You know, now if it's almost over 80% of everybody else that's in our community, you know, coming here to work, be it say owning stores, gas stations, restaurants, police, EMT, doctors, and what else? Firemen. You know what I'm saying? Those 7 different type of things. So think if it's a high percentage of those people coming in and out our community, just because you hold some type of position doesn't mean that you mean us well or we should trust you. We got children disappearing. I'll tell you this one scenario, because they got our youth fighting and going back and forth, and they locking them up at a high rate like they used to do in the 90s. I understand about gun violence and all that. We got to think of where these guns coming from. Military grade. Some stuff you can't even buy, but they getting it. You know, I know they're not making it. They don't got no gun shop in their basement. So they can't move around freely. Because back in the day, we used to have to go to the store. My mother's or grandmother say, "Oh, here goes somebody, go to the store." We go to the store, come back. But now it's not like that. People can't go and say, "Oh, go to the store." No, I can't go. I got ops here. I got the ops over there. I can't go over there. I can't do this. Police, you know what I'm saying, pressure me. They own me. They jumping down. They falsely accusing our buddies. They putting people out there saying that they tricks and doing all type of stuff, informants. So now they can't move around, or they don't want to get caught in certain spaces. So you say, hey, they say it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock. They say, tell you that their little sister or their cousin, go to the store for them. Now they leaving out late at night. Now, since the men can't really go nowhere, move around, the ones that's on the blocks, or you got other ones that's working, got to go to work. So now the streets is becoming a prey zone. Not only you got people driving Uber, not only you got police, you don't know if they mean you good or harm. You know, You got fire departments, people going on getting on and off work coming through your community. You got all these people that work in these restaurants and gas stations. You see how disrespectful they are at these local stores. They be having bulletproof glass. It's about 5 or 6 on kiki ha talking to each other as our people going in and out. So now, since you got most of the women walking around because the men can't go and move freely, they are at prey. Not saying they're not at prey of some of us, but they are prey to a whole community that's, have a lot of visitors and spectators that don't have our perspective, don't have our respect, and don't have our knowledge of who we are as a people. So they'll look at our women as something less than. Taking them off the street and doing something ridiculous to them shouldn't be far-fetched. Look how they treat their own women. So if they treat their own women, which is a part of their culture and they love them, think how they'll treat our women, which they look in disdain or look at something less than as the woman that they have at home. You have to think of that. We have to do better for our people. We got to do way more than what's better. We have to do great. We got to start making gains, yearly gains that some people probably have to make in months. We have to make up 10 and 20 years in 5 years. And it's not just politics. It's socialism. We have to be more social. We have to control our education. And we have to start identifying ourselves so we can know each other, know that we think it's the same, we got the same school of thought, we have the same upbringing, we got the same history, we got the same lineage. So we have the same culture. We have to start thinking alike. We have to start moving for the benefit for our children. Or we're just gonna fail or be destroyed. And before destruction comes to my doorstep, I am going to fight tooth and nail, head to toe, whoever I have to do just to make sure that not only my children have quality culture and some quality people to be around when they get older, but to have the information and knowledge out there of who we are and come to be the strong people that we know we are, because the country wouldn't be the way it is without our sacrifice. And we still sacrificing to this day. So I think I rambled on a little longer than I wanted to today. October 4th was my birthday. I did make some of this video then, but then I redid it. But I just like to say thank you, everybody. Those people who are understanding and waking up, and we have to do more than just protest and march and give lip service. We have to start doing some actions. And what that action is, sit down and think about. Think about what I said. Think about what was read. And this is not the only book. I have a lot of other books from Here to Equality. I got that too. I have a lot of books, but we focus on that for right now. Since they talk about the bloody shirt, I'm gonna talk about the bloody shirt. All right, so peace, everybody. Please like, share, and think about what I said. Comment if you agree or disagree, or you think I'm just tripping. Let me know. All right, peace, love.